Morning, everybody. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, Jesus, all right, Tobin, you came on vacation. What do you got a lot of things to say? This is typically what happens to me after I come off vacation. I have a lot of things to say. I actually wasn't expecting to do this, but I saw something floating around Twitter last night that, first of all, was really cool, but that made me nervous because I saw a quote and I was like, that quote didn't happen. Did that quote happen? Did that quote happen? I don't even. All right, let's just roll with this. So, been pretty quiet on the Jimmy Butler front. Understandably so. Nothing can really happen until the finals are over. We know that the numbers for the game one were very piss poor. Nobody seemed to realize that the NBA finals were on. I do wonder this: the NBA finals and the Stanley Cup Finals, the whole taking a break thing, and part of the reason is because the NBA, has to take over the broadcast themselves and the building themselves. It's pretty crazy when you watch an NBA Finals, how everything goes from, the Heat control this to the NBA controls this. And so I guess they got to get all their ducks in a row for that. Same thing goes, I imagine, for the Stanley Cup. But I was like wondering how people just like, did they forget that the NBA Finals were going on? I don't know. But worst numbers I think they said, except for the COVID years, since 2007, which was that was Cavs Spurs. That was a LeBron Finals. Pretty crazy. Anyway, that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to talk finals. I could, they could both lose somehow. If they could both be disqualified from the finals, that'd be fantastic. Ultimately, I'll take with the Mavs winning in whatever imaginable games it is. All I'm focused on tonight is the Cats. That's what I'm ready for. But last night, Jimmy Butler did a really, really cool thing. So Jimmy Butler pulled up to the LA Sparks game. The Sparks were taking on the Dallas Wings and did a really cool thing where he was showing up to support Cameron Brink, who is playing for the rookie for the LA Sparks and rookie sensation. Probably been one of the faces along with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Cameron Brink, I would say, is probably just in my stratosphere been getting the most coverage out of anybody, out of the new wave of people. So if you guys aren't familiar, she did an interview with, this was from Overtime Maddie. She did an interview, I think this was a couple of weeks ago, where she had revealed that, basically Jimmy Butler's her favorite player because Maddie had asked Cameron Brink that, hey, who do you like, Tatum or Jimmy Butler? Wemby or Jimmy Butler? Dame or Jimmy Butler? And she basically was like, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler. Basically, Jimmy Butler over everyone. Embiid, Wemby, name a player. She picked Jimmy Butler. SGA, she's picking Jimmy Butler. Pretty cool. You want to know why? Jimmy Butler, he's had this incredible last 5 years, and it's been cool to see that Cameron Brink has taken notice of this. So what was she? She was 17 when Jimmy Butler came to the Heat. So those are some impressionable sports fans' years for sure. And so it's respect to Jimmy Butler's game. So Jimmy Butler did a really cool thing yesterday and pulls up to the Sparks game, wears her jersey, and apparently the reports were she was like, in the tunnels, I can't believe Jimmy Butler's wearing my jersey. Jimmy Butler comes in, he supports, shows love. She wears number 22. I don't know if that's for Jimmy Butler. I don't know if it's another reason or she just wears, if she's always worn 22. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. So, excuse me on that ignorance. But as awesome as Cameron Brink is, something about this night made me nervous. After all the great hugs and handshakes, which was really, really cool. I can't stress that enough. Jimmy Butler doing things like this is amazing. It's awesome that the WNBA is having a moment right now where their popularity is starting to skyrocket and go in a great place. deservedly so from all the greats that have been there. There's a lot of fuel that has been added by Caitlin Clark, obviously. Some of it has gotten controversial. I think it's just cool to just sit back and see, like, hey, people are appreciating women playing basketball at a way different level and rate than they used to. That's really, really cool. As an MMA fan, I remember, Gina Carano versus Chris Cyborg being a very big deal. And then, of course, I remember the boom happening with Ronda Rousey main eventing her versus Miesha Tate being a huge thing for the Ultimate Fighter, just like it was back with Bonner Forrest Griffin. That rivalry was very heated. Ronda Rousey always had Miesha Tate's number, really kind of took over. Boom, that goes in a big place. Then we have the greats like Valentina Shevchenko, Amanda Nunes, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. We have, starting to have, straw weights, 115ers come in and headline pay-per-views or co-headline pay-per-views and really steal the show. So this is a really cool moment for the WNBA, and it's very awesome that Jimmy Butler is there. Okay, so why am I bringing this up? Tobin, you did a video to tell me Jimmy Butler did a cool thing for Cameron Brink. What the hell, dude? You're right. That's not why I did this video. You've seen past my fraud ways. I'm very nervous about something because, again, the Miami Heat are heading into a summer where there could be a lot of fodder surrounding Jimmy Butler. I don't know if Jimmy Butler's going to make a stink should the Miami Heat not give him his extension. I don't know how he's going to handle that. I honestly think we may be seeing more of this, which is something that we've seen be thrown around with other players, right? Like, I can't sit here. What I've said with the fans who get crazy about this Jimmy Butler stuff is people are going to say, oh, you're just making stuff up. Oh, you're looking into things too much. That's fine. But no, my consistency is on the other side of it. When I want players to come to the Heat, I will look at Bradley Beal liking a tweet or Damian Lillard following somebody or little comments in interviews. I will look at that and I will run with that. So I feel like, to be fair, if I was a Lakers fan and I heard what Jimmy Butler said, I would be raised and I would poke my head out like a prairie dog and be like, I have to be fair. I can't just dismiss it because Jimmy Butler, part of what's going to go into this summer is, hey, Heat, are you going to pay me my money? I would like to stay there, but if you're not, send me somewhere that will pay me my money. The Lakers are obviously going to be spending a lot of money and going all in on whatever is left of the LeBron years. And perhaps they look at this and say, no, we can get into the Jimmy Butler game. Jimmy Butler says something in this interview which seems just like a compliment to Cameron Brink. However, he reveals something. He reveals that he is going to be spending most of his offseason in LA, according to him, and that he thinks that, now you're going to hear the mic kind of cut out here, but it sounds like he says that 22, which Cameron Brink wears, which is also his number, that 22 looks real good in purple and gold. Here's Jimmy Butler.
How's your offseason going? What's Jimmy doing this summer?
A lot of stuff he probably shouldn't be doing. Trying to stay out the way, being in LA as much as possible, because I realize the Sparks are great. The LA team's really good.
The Sparks are building something new. What do you like about Rickea Jackson and Cameron Brink?
Rickea is there we go. And for some reason, 22 just looks good and
Play-by-play from Jimmy Butler. Thank you so much for your time. Everyone watches women's sports.
Yes, they do. Thank you.
So, this is Jimmy. Now, I'm very nervous because I don't want Jimmy Butler to go anywhere. I've made it clear. I want the Heat to pay Jimmy Butler. I want Jimmy Butler to retire in a Heat jersey. But like the troll that he is. See, Jimmy Butler has a superpower. His superpower is trolling. And this is kind of what drew the ire of Pat Riley, right? With the whole keep your mouth shut. He goes, is this Jimmy trolling?
Is that Jimmy trolling?
Or is this Jimmy serious? And that's kind of where I'm like, all right, is this Jimmy trolling? Because the Heat front office inevitably will find out about these comments that for some reason that 22 looks really good in purple and gold. And I know the mic cuts out there a little bit, but you can read his lips pretty clearly, and he says purple and gold. And the Lakers are going to be into making a lot of moves. He reveals there in the interview he is going to be spending a lot of time in LA, as much time in LA as possible. Which is fine. Jimmy doesn't spend all of his offseason time. Like, listen, he spends his offseason time damn near traveling the world most years. Has done some spending it in New York for the U.S. Open. Jimmy Butler spends his off seasons in a lot of different places. I don't look so much into that he's going to be in L.A. A lot of players, especially if you live in Miami and you're like, I get Miami, you're going to go probably spend some time elsewhere, right? You know, he's not just hanging around locally like Bam is. You know, some of the guys will stay local, like Tyler and Bam. Jimmy travels. Jimmy goes all over the place. Jimmy's got things to do. But it was that sly little comment at the end, that 22, which he could just be like, just give a little nod to Cameron Brink, man. Nothing wrong there. Okay, you can say that. We can say that. But I'll be damned if I don't think that that's something. I'm sorry. I'm gonna not just a little flirt. It's not a big thing. It's Jimmy Butler basically throwing a little heart emoji on Instagram. It's nothing huge, but it's something just to let people because the first people to notice it last night were Lakers fans. I was like, oh, I'm like, he said that. I'm like, he didn't say that. And then I go back and I listen to it, and it's worse than the watching it was worse than reading it. I was like, oh man, what? He said that? So I'm nervous. I'm still a nervous mess over this stuff. I don't want to be. I wish I wasn't like this. This is how I am. I'm Tobes. I look into things too much. I'm you know, maybe I'm sitting here, I'm gaslighting myself. I don't know. It's quiet times. Just want answers. I want resolutions. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler's going to be out here batting his eyes. He's like, oh, you don't think I can find millions and millions of dollars? Which, look, if the reports are true, he's already proven, right? The reports are multiple teams. Not just one team, not just the Sixers, but multiple teams would be willing to give him his money. So, you know, maybe the Miami Heat are going to be having a bidding war on their hands for Jimmy Butler. I don't know. I want them to just pay him. I want Jimmy Butler to win a ring with the Heat. I want to see this through. I want it to get through, you know? But, like, you know, not everything is, you know, to steal a message from my boy Anthony Lionheart-Smith, not everything is Cody Rhodes, right? Not everything is wrestling. You know, some things are Dustin Poirier. Sometimes you're just really, really awesome, but you never quite get to the finish line. Doesn't mean you weren't entertaining as hell. Doesn't mean you weren't one of the best. But damn it, I want the Heat to try. And Jimmy's out here, you know, giving little, you know, wink emojis and head nods to the Lakers and to Los Angeles. I was not a fan of that. Cool thing that he did for Cameron Brink. I want to say, listen, cool thing that he did for Cameron Brink, and awesome that he's supporting the WNBA and her like that. But with the good brought some nerves for me. Not for him, for me. What about me? What about me, Jimmy?